In this video, I'll show you how to use the Bevel command within the Cam5X module to program the cuts on the end of this part here. The rest of the cuts on here will be vertical cuts, which relatively straightforward, so we'll just concentrate on these cuts here on the end and this end of the part here. So first thing we'll do here is pick some edges. So click on the curves button and click on pick edges. So on this end here, we'll click on this line for the top of that bevel cut, and then click on pick edges again, and I'll click on this line here and hit enter, and then I'll pick edges again and I'll click on this line here and this line here. So that would give us edges for those bevel cuts on that end. And then down here in this area we'll click on pick edges again, and you'll see that if, depending on where I hover, I either get this short line here or this line here, or depending on how I hover, I might get that entire line, but I'll just click so I just get that short segment of that line there, and then hit enter, and then pick edges again, and click this line here, and continue on like that. So we'll pick, let's see, pick that edge here, and then this edge here, and then finally for that bottom of that lower bevel cut, we will see if we can just select a portion of this line segment, or if we have to pick the entire thing, which in this case we'll pick the entire thing, but then we'll see how we'll correct that. Now you see that if I do click on pick edges again, almost let me select another portion of the short section of the line there, but may not be able to pick that, so we'll just go with what we've got here for those various edges. And then we'll go ahead and close that. So now we can click on toolpath and start adding our bevel cuts on here. So I'll add a new toolpath and select upper curve, so select here, and we'll start from this end and come down to this end, and then for the lower curve select down here, and then for the lead in, if I want the default lead in, I can just move my mouse till the lead in snaps into position and hit enter, and then for the lead out, same thing, I can move my mouse around until it snaps into position. If I want to lengthen that lead out, just drag my mouse out somewhere out here and click. And then we can do the lower bevel over here. So select the upper curve here, and we'll start from this end and go down to this end. And for the lower curve, we'll select that line down there. So that gives us that cut. And then again, we can specify our lead in and our lead out. And we'll come around to this side here. So I'm going to start with the bottom bevel, since that'll give us some interesting results. I'll show you how we can change that. So for upper curve, I'll select here, and we'll go ahead, we'll start here, and we'll go down to here. And for the lower curve, I'll select that line down there. And so I've got this kind of crazy looking cut. So it's trying to connect that top line with the entire length of that bottom line. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and just add my lead in and the lead out. And so what we'll do to fix that, the bottom cut here, is, once I get this zoomed around here, if we look at the, click on this type tab, right now it's using a ruled connection, so you can change this to fixed, which activates these buttons and boxes down here, and I can click, if I know what the angle is, I can go ahead and type that in, or I can click on this icon here, and then I can select an edge in the parts, so then I can click here to indicate that that's the angle that I want for that cut, and it'll go ahead and set that. And then for engagement, we've got that set for tool to table, so it's looking at that entire length to calculate the cutting speed, so we get a decent edge quality along that cut along the bottom there. And then I can just add the other cuts on this part here, so we can do this one, and we'll start down here and we'll come this way, and for the lower curve we'll select that, and then again we can add our lead in and lead out. So we'll just continue on here, select the upper curve, so that'll be that, and then we'll start here and go down this way, lower curve, that line there, and then lead in and lead out if we want a little bit of a lead out. So we've got those two done, and then again upper curve, and we'll start here and go down here, and lower curve, and a little bit of a lead in and a little bit of a lead out. So if I check that show all box, and I can see the various cuts that I've programmed so far, see if I've missed any, which I believe I've got one more to do. Actually no, looks like I got them all. So if that looks good, then you can click on close, and we can go ahead and click on part, create the part, bring us back to the main IGEMS screen here, set our 0, position, and click on the process button, and we can run our simulation. So we got the top cut there, bottom cut, and then the various cuts on the end there. So if that looks good, you can go ahead and create that file. If you did want to change cut sequence on any of those things, you can come in here, click on the order button, and then you can go through and move these cuts up or down. So that bottom cut that we did, if we wanted that to be the last cut, we could use this command here, and we could move it down. So let's see, so that would be that top, and then work our way down around. And then if we do the simulation again, we can see how that's changed. So that would be how you'd program that part. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.